And it's sort of typical of anybody who wants to trip somebody up with whom they don't agree, is they'll ask this really convoluted, difficult question, and it's typically a question that can't be answered in 25 words or less. And then as you try and sort of answer the question, they'll sort of snipe at you. Understand that it's that kind of a question that's being asked. So they come and ask this question of 7 brothers who dies one at a time, each one of whom marries this guy. You know, by the 3rd brother, you'd start to think, is this gal disposing of us? And so at the end of that, they say, whose wife will she be after the resurrection? Understand that, first off, they don't believe in the resurrection. So it starts from a position, I don't believe in the resurrection. You do believe in the resurrection, Rabbi. Explain this to me. So that's the kind of a question it is. And Yeshua answered them and says, you are wrong. Wrong about what? So first thing he's done is he's thrown a stick in their spokes. And what he's saying to them is, your theology is wrong, and your question is coming from someplace that doesn't make any sense. So the whole scenario that they've tried to set up is now in ruins around them. He addresses 2 things, and he addresses them separately. The first thing he addresses is marriage, and the second thing he addresses is resurrection. So there's 2 parts to the answer. So part 1 is, you're wrong because you know neither the scriptures nor the power of God. Your entire concept of God and your understanding of the scriptures is incorrect. And because you have a misunderstanding of the scriptures and you don't understand the power of God, you have asked a dumb question. God is not theological per se, but God is metalogical, which is to say he is in a separate plane, and the stuff he does is in fact logical, but that isn't all he does. So for in the resurrection, they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are like angels in heaven. First thing is he is saying in the resurrection, which is to say there is going to be a resurrection. Your initial assumption that there isn't going to be a resurrection, and so you can trap me in this trap because resurrection isn't real, is wrong. First off, because there is a resurrection. And then in that resurrection, they neither marry nor are given in marriage, but are like angels in heaven. Now, I have heard preachers talk on this, and they have said that angels are asexual, and that isn't what this says. It doesn't say they're celibate, and it doesn't say that they are asexual. It doesn't say either one of those 2 things. It says they don't marry. Those who teach back in Matthew that angels are unable to engage in reproductive activities, it would seem are contradicted by at least the book of Jude and perhaps the book of Genesis. So the fact that angels are not given in marriage then does not necessarily say anything about their reproductive equipment. That's thing 1. It also doesn't say anything about celibacy. And now I'm just going to go into rank speculation. There are several things that could be implied by this, and I do not know. Everybody, I do not know. This is speculation. Thing 1 that is possible. Adam, when he was created, Eve was separated from him. In other words, the male and female part was separated after the creation of humanity. Entirely possible that those parts are now back together in the resurrection. That's a possibility. Possibility number 2 is in the resurrection there is no more need for more children. And without the need for children, the need for marriage is perhaps not there. It doesn't say anything about celibacy. It doesn't say anything about sexuality or the ability to reproduce or any of that. It doesn't say any of that stuff. It simply says they don't marry and they are like the angels. Everything else that we've done from there is speculation, just as everything that anybody ever preaches on with respect to that is also speculation.